All right, it's a pleasure to be here again. I was here last year, and I feel it's so great to have NOAH back, and also in Zurich, which is a place that I have a lot of fond memories of, because this was the place where I founded my very first startup in 2010, which was Dein Deal, and then we sold it in 2015 to Ringier. And that was a great experience because it was a small market, a super easy business model. We could make all of the mistakes in the world, and we could really learn how to build big companies. And then we said, all right, let's look for the next adventure, and let's look for a more complex industry, and let's look for something that we can roll out globally. And I'm not sure you know, my dad is an insurance broker. So that's the reason why, insurance was something I never wanted to have anything to do with. I remember, getting I guess it's called cringe, sitting as a kid at these events when the salespeople were asked to come to stage to get Rolexes, and the best one got a Ferrari, and I was sitting there as a kid, and this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel right. So I said, I'm going to go into technology. I'm not going to follow my father's footsteps. And I think exclusively here I can now tell the true story of how wefox came to life in the city, because it's not a very romantic story, it's a rather random story, and it shows that it was actually more destiny than anything else. So it was one day in 2014, we knew we were going to sell the company, and I know Mark Walder was here yesterday. He was our chairman at this point. My co-founder Dario said, listen, we should do insurance. Insurance is complex, insurance is huge potential. And I said that my dad is in insurance, no thank you. I want to go into fast-moving consumer goods where I can reach millions of people very fast. And then he said, hey, this guy is coming in, he made a lot of money with insurance on Friday, let's just chat with him for like 10, 15 minutes. I was like, 10, 15 minutes, fine. So Bora comes in. Bora Kirkali, shout out to Bora Kirkali. He came in and we sat there for 10 minutes just talking technology, and he was talking insurance, and then all of a sudden after 10 minutes he said, I'm in. I was like looking at him, and then Dario, who's a great sales guy, said, all right, you can have 10% for 300,000 Swiss francs. And then Bora said, all right, let's do it, and shook our hands. And I was like, what? So we had money, but no team and no idea. And I was forced into this industry. And the first thing I did was I took a piece of paper and I wrote down all of my associations I have with insurance. And it was a lot of negative associations from my upbringing, but also from being an insurance customer myself. It was all about complexity, intransparency, inconvenience, so a lot of negative things. And then on the positive thing, there was this weird thing called safety, peace of mind, which is really abstract up in the cloud. And one video that I watched back then actually really helped me to become extremely passionate about insurance. And that was a video about a family that has had a terrible tragedy happening to them. A tragedy that can happen to any of us at any point of time. We don't have an armor. And they were not protected for it. And this charity jumped in to protect them. And what happened to them, they just got married. And the husband, in his 30s, got a brainstem stroke. And he went to the hospital. The wife came. And the doctor said, let's turn off the life support machines. It's not worth it. The wife said, no. I'm going to fight for him. I'm going to get him back to life. She quit her job. He learned how to speak again. He learned how to use a computer. He learned how to move again. And I think the most touching piece was that she said at the end, we're now married for 10 years, and we're going to renew our vows. And then I was like, what other industry has such a strong purpose? What other industry has such a stark contrast between death, literal death, and getting married again, life? And this is when I started to really become passionate about this industry and didn't just see a potential from an economic perspective, but really saw an opportunity to change this industry for good. It's a huge industry. It's a $5 trillion industry, but I'm not sure you know that actually we're talking about a $25 trillion industry. Because the protection gap, meaning risks, like in the case of the video I just told you, where people are not protected for bad things happening, the protection gap is actually $25 trillion. And that's the growth potential of this industry. We're already talking one of the largest industries, but actually it's 5 times larger than what it is today. That's the real size of insurance. So unlimited TAM, and we are tiny. I mean, we have 600 million in revenues. We have a bit more than 1 billion of premiums transacted on our platform. And if you compare that to 5 trillion, I always say we are in the first 100 meters of a marathon. You know, we're at the very beginning, in for like 7 years now. It doesn't feel like we only ran 100 meters of a marathon, to be honest. But I think we're pretty well positioned on the first 100 meters, but it means absolutely nothing because the marathon is still going on for a long time. We're now more than 2 million customers, more than 1,300 employees. We're now in 6 countries, and we have more than, at this point, 3,000 distribution partners, and we received 1.3 billion in funding. Latest valuation was 4.5 billion a few months ago. So in the midst of the crisis, so that's not a 221 or 2000 early 2022 type valuation. It's a summer 2022 valuation. So I think more meat to the bone here, we are in a stage where I want to now explain to you kind of what has brought us here. So what's the secret sauce? Because many insurtechs, it's just 1 minute? I thought I had 15. Then I need to speed up. Is it 1 minute or is it 6 minutes?
It's 6 minutes.
All right, got it. Where are we? How did we get there? Because insurance is not as straightforward as e-commerce. Okay? And there's no player in the world that has ever cracked insurance, and there's a good reason for that, right? So our business model is not the most straightforward, and I will now try to explain the secret sauce of wefox. Okay? So bear with me. The direct digital insurers, and that was the trend when InsurTech became a thing in 2015, they go directly to the customer and eliminate the human. That means they have really high customer acquisition costs, and what turned out is that they also have really bad loss ratios, so customers claiming more than customers that come in via advisors. So it's a double downer. And what we said, and I called my dad, and my dad said, son, 9 out of 10 policies are sold via the human being, not without advisors. And insurance is a topic where you want to talk to a real human, you don't want to talk to a bot. So why don't you work on making the experience for advisors really good instead of eliminating the advisor? And that's what we've done. This was what we started in 2015. And this turned out to be the winner model in InsurTech because we have very low customer acquisition costs because the advisors generate the customers, plus we have better loss ratios. And now I will go a little bit more into depth of this model. So we have 3 types of inventory and now 3 types of distribution. We started off only with offering the left side. So third-party insurance companies, AXA, Allianz, and so forth, only via independent brokers. What we then did in 2018 is we launched a new inventory type, our own insurance book. So we became the first startup that had their own risk on their own balance sheet. And we also started our own sales force. We call that advisors. And then in 2021, we started a third inventory type, which is in between the distribution and the insurer, which we call MGA. It's our product, but it's not our risk. And we started affinity. So today, if we look at our own insurer on the top right, we now have 200 million of the 600 million revenues, and MGA and third party is 400 million in commissions. We have around 3,000 advisors working for us, 2 million customers. And I tell you, it's not only a more sophisticated distribution channel with low CAC, because our distribution channels are responsible for acquiring customers. It's also a significantly more sophisticated product strategy, because what you've seen with the direct insurers is they went direct and they put everything on their own balance sheet. What we're doing is an Amazon-like product approach. So we have the third-party insurers, and that's like the long tail. All products are offered to our advisors from any insurance company. If we see that there's high sales volumes on one of these products, we turn it into an MGA. Our product, but not our risk. It's a little bit like Amazon Marketplace moving to fulfillment by Amazon. Amazon now has more charge of the customer experience and can make sure that the packaging is right, that the speed is right, and that the returns are handled by them. And then when we see we can operate this product really profitable, we put it on our own book. And this is like Amazon Basics. I'm not sure if you know, Amazon only has 1,500 products on their platform. Out of millions that are basics, these are the margin drivers. So no customer acquisition cost. We look at the customer and we choose what type of inventory based on EBITDA per unit, making sure that we have a really sophisticated product inventory strategy. And sophistication in the distribution and sophistication in the insurance supply strategy is what really makes a difference and allowed us to grow year by year, over 100%, while significantly increasing our profitability. And that's unique in InsurTech. Where are we going? We're planning to become the #1 insurance player in the world by 2030. Again, today we're nowhere. We have a long way to go. But what we've done is we've looked at what are the weak points of the dinosaurs. We've identified 5. Dinosaurs grow slow. We grow 100% year by year. Dinosaurs have a low risk margin. So the insurance business by itself is not really profitable. We believe through technology we can make it significantly more profitable. Dinosaurs don't have a high return on equity. We will be capital light through our sophisticated product inventory strategy, and we will have higher return on equity, meaning higher valuations once we're public. Dinosaurs have a catch-22. Whatever they make in profits, they have to return to their investors. That's the name of the game. I call it squeezing the lemon. We will not go this path. We will invest everything into innovation because the #1 player in 2030 is not an insurance player, not an insurance company, not a balance sheet, it's not a distribution company, it's a platform play. And this platform we are going to launch in 2024. And it's a more progressive culture. Insurance has not been able to attract the best talent in the world. We think it's a huge opportunity to get the best talent from all around the world by making insurance high growth, high tech, and sexy. So 2030, #1 insurance player in the world. Big ambitions. I think big ambitions are missing in the insurance industry. That's what we are here for. Thank you.